everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I wanted to share a really quick video featuring some of the most outstanding late fall foliage plants that I have in my garden here in central North Carolina, Zone 7. Now, it's the middle of December. We've only got a couple of days left before officially the season transitions to winter. But in the southeast, it's not uncommon that some of our best fall color doesn't start until the month of December. And to feature that, right behind me was the plant actually that inspired this video. This is a type of maple. This is a maple native to Taiwan. It's Acer oliverianum subspecies formosanum. And I used to grow this at Camellia Forest. I just looked it up online and it's in stock at mrmaple.com, which is a fantastic mail order nursery. If you're not familiar, totally check them out. Let me turn the camera around so that you can see exactly how exquisite this foliage is. So you can see really amazing coloration, all the different colors of the rainbow represented. Now, the reason that this plant has so much juvenile growth is because earlier this summer, Savannah and I cut it way back. We did a hard prune. We actually had the intention of making this a stand for a pot, but never followed through. The plant, of course, started to regrow, and I really love it this size. I think my goal is just going to be to kind of try to maintain it every 5 to 7 years, do a hard cutback, so that it doesn't compete so much with the live oak that it's planted underneath. Again, this is a great plant for zone 7 and warmer. You could certainly grow it in full sun, but here I have it in quite a bit of shade and it's done really, really well. The next plant, without hesitation, has to be the Chinese fringe tree. This is one of the most remarkable plants for late fall color. So you can see the butter yellow leaf, which is just so pretty. And of course, it's an enormous tree, so it makes quite a statement. I'm going to continue walking back and zooming out. You can see how large that is. Planted 11 years ago. And of course, it blooms absolutely incredibly in the spring. But I really think that it is one of the most fantastic plants for late fall coloration. Now behind me here is what I think to be the best fall color on any Viburnum. This is Viburnum bittuancy, and it's really difficult because it's gotten so cloudy yet again to give you the full range of the coloration, but I'm going to turn the camera around and give you a close-up view. So this is an Asian species and not really well known in the trade, but a really terrific plant overall. Now, earlier this year, I did do a really hard cut on this, and I wanted it to grow taller instead of so bushy. And you can see there's a lot of green foliage that will still be coloring through the end of the year, really into January. But the foliage is really amazing. It gets this kind of peachy red coloration that is really outstanding. And bring that a little bit closer. And it's definitely a plant that brightens up this kind of dreary time when the skies are covered in nothing but dark clouds. Now, obviously, fall color is something that a lot of native plants are really well known for. And I've got a whole trailer load ready and waiting to get planted. Had to delay the install because it's so wet. We've had rain basically every single day. But I wanted to show you a few highlights. Of course, the deciduous azaleas are really amazing. Fothergilla, you cannot beat that incredible fall color. And one plant that I think everyone should be growing, I have it both in the ground and in containers, oak leaf hydrangeas. So you can see here, this is Hydrangea quercifolia, and this is a variety from First Editions called Jetstream. And it's just such a remarkable plant for that gorgeous red coloration. And look, I've got it in pots ready and waiting to go in the ground, and they look just as amazing. Now, next to that is another plant from First Editions, and this is Love Child Itea. those also known as the native sweet spire, and it gets this great burgundy coloration. So I know these are gonna look really awesome in the new garden, and I really cannot wait to get that new garden built. Another plant that I think deserves a shout out for its fall coloration is forsythia. And you know, forsythia is such an easy to grow plant. Sun, shade, drought, wet, it's very forgiving. You can grow it everywhere. I think it's hardy to like zone 3. And of course, you know, most people are growing it for the spring yellow flowers, but I think that there's a lot to be said for the foliage, and some varieties actually will get more of a burgundy cast, and others like this one, whose name I have lost, gets this really beautiful butter yellow. So I think forsythia just shouldn't be overlooked. I know it's common, but sometimes plants are common for a reason. They're easy to grow and they perform really well. Now here's another plant that's relatively difficult to source, though it shouldn't be because it's an awesome native plant. This is Croton alabamensis. And as the name indicates, it's a native to Alabama. It does really well up here in North Carolina. And not only does it get really great late fall, early winter coloration, it's got the most incredible silver backsides of the leaves. I know I've made a lot of videos featuring this plant because I just think it is such an interesting thing that everyone should grow. I really wish more nurseries would carry it. You know, it's funny, as a Midwest native, I'm still programmed to think fall color should start in October. And I have been living in North Carolina for 20 years, and I'm still constantly surprised at how much color I have in my garden in mid and late December. And, you know, this is just a video to remind everybody else that it's different gardening in the South than it is in the Northeast or Midwest. And it's important to celebrate that and recognize those differences. And my final plant selection for incredible late fall coloration absolutely has to be this blueberry relative. This is Zenobia, and it's probably a plant that most people have never heard of, but I really think you should put this on your must-grow list. So unlike blueberries, this does not set edible fruit, and most of my blueberries have already lost all their leaves, whereas the Zenobia is really just starting to color up. And obviously that red, burgundy, purple coloration is just completely remarkable. And Zenobia is actually a North American native. Well, and I had to include Edgeworthia chrysantha just because the butter yellow foliage is starting to color up. And of course, once those leaves drop, what you're left with is the anticipation of all the flowers that are yet to come sometime January and February. Well, I hope you'll be inspired by this quick video featuring some of the plants that are really coloring up nice and late in the fall, really leading into winter solstice, which is just a few days away. I'm super excited. I like when we're on the other side of solstice so the day length starts to increase. And be sure to tune in tomorrow because I'm going to make a similar video featuring all of the plants that are actually blooming right now in my garden. Some on purpose, some seem a little bit early. So I hope you'll tune in tomorrow and be sure to subscribe. Well, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy gardening.